Next up, we're delighted to welcome back Peter Power-Hynes. You're here because there's an evening coming up.
Well, actually, on the 24th of March, there's a private event which we're selling tickets for, which is to raise money for a new statue of Michael Collins to be erected in Cork City. And they're represented here in London by Angus Collins O'Malley, the great-grandnephew of Michael Collins. And he's a walking encyclopedia on Michael Collins, and he's a regular visitor to the ICC in recent times. And we've also roped him into giving one of our history lectures in May. We usually give 4 history lectures on 4 Wednesdays in May every year. And he's agreed to give a talk on Michael Collins and his legacy.
We in the last season, we talked about Who Killed Michael Collins, which was a play that was on.
It was a play,
It caused a lot of controversy as to, because the standard suggestion of his death was due to being killed by a sniper from 450 yards. But some of the evidence that was produced in that play might seem to contradict the accepted story about his death. Nobody can be 100% sure. But there were some very interesting facts that came up in that play which made people scratch their heads. And so we may never know who killed him, but...
including the missing autopsy report?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another story. Oliver St. John Gogarty actually did the autopsy. And there's a famous Irish sculptor called Power who made his death mask. And he told his sons... sometime after he had removed the death mask, that as he removed it, Gogarty and him agreed that the bullet hole in Collins's head was consistent with the bullet from a Mauser pistol at close range.
Not 450 metres.
Yeah. And he told his sons not to divulge that information because their lives could depend on it. And then we have the story when De Valera came to power 10 years later. Gareth Fitzgerald's father, who was in the government at the time, was responsible for destroying files in Dublin Castle which they didn't want De Valera's party to see. But one of those files was the post-mortem file on Michael Collins. So you would wonder, if the file supported the status quo that he was killed by a sniper, why would he want it destroyed? So, you have to leave it there. There are mixed opinions on how it happened. And as I said, we'll probably never know the absolute truth.
But we have to say that De Valera was a great guy, and surely he wouldn't have had any part in this. I mean, De Valera
well, this is the thing. If the file said that he'd been killed by one of his own, then De Valera would have had a field day, and he would have been saying, well, why did you keep this secret for the last 10 years?
Okay.
And the split between the people who are pro-treaty and anti-treaty since the treaty was signed obviously has divided Irish politics down through the years.
In theory, 100 years later, 75 years later, with the Good Friday Agreement, we're about to celebrate 25 years of that some of those schisms might have healed.
Yeah, I think that is the case, and even in the early days, there were quite a few anti-treaty supporters who actually switched sides subsequently, and the man who wrote the book My Fight for Irish Freedom,
Dan
Breen, was reported to have said that the only time he ever cried was when he heard Michael Collins had been killed, and he was anti-treaty at the time, but he became pro-treaty subsequently.
A lot of people will know Michael Collins probably from Liam Neeson's portrayal of him in the movie. We might just have a quick bit of Liam as Michael Collins.
Absolutely great.
The fact that the candidate you're being asked to vote for is at this moment rotting in an English jail shouldn't put you off. Sure wasn't I in one myself till a week ago. They can jail us. They can shoot us. They can even conscript us. They can use us as cannon fodder in the Somme. But we have a weapon more powerful than any in the whole arsenal of their British Empire. And that weapon is our refusal. Our refusal to bow to any order but our own. any institution but our own. Our friends in the Royal Irish Constabulary would like to shut me up. Yes. Jail me again. Shoot me. Who knows? But I'd like you to send them a message. If they shut me up, who'll take my place? Who's going to take my place? I can't hear you. Who'll take my place? Will they shut you up?
That is Liam Neeson as Michael Collins from the movie Michael Collins.
Well, as a matter of fact, Angus's mother was the principal advisor to the movie. As I said, Angus is a walking encyclopedia, Michael Collins, and his mother was the same. And he told me that his dad knew everybody on both sides at Bail na Blá. So it'll be a very interesting program here when he has this fundraiser on the 24th of March, and then his actual talk in May.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.